Hey guys, Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency update. Welcome to the channel. Let's get right into the information today. This is going to be an information data dump of recent XRP news, speculation, dot connecting, you name it. Again, none of this is financial advice. Always do your own research. Take everything I say here with a grain of salt. Double check it. Feel free to call me out. And again, let's get into the information. So, to briefly cover a recent article by Ripple, again, this is Miss Brianne Madigan of Ripple talking about why deep liquidity is the key to institutional investment in blockchain. Now, I just want to kind of rehash this and kind of go over this brief paragraph again, because this is very, very important. And I believe that in this race, the most liquid assets will win. It's quite obvious at this point. We know that even people connected to Ripple, of course, whether it was, I'm not sure if it was Chris Larson, executive chairman, or another individual, but they said they want XRP to be as liquid as the Swiss franc, which for those of you that do not know is a G10 currency. Now, we want liquidity, obviously, for the use cases. We're finding out that buyers and sellers on other cryptocurrency exchanges, when they're moving their assets to other exchanges, instead of transacting with Bitcoin, getting a $30 fee and taking an hour to settle, they're just using XRP for pennies on the dollar and obviously settlement within minutes. I mean, depending on what the exchange, typical transfer is obviously 3 seconds, give or take, but sometimes the exchanges will have to kind of go through their own little process, so it could take longer, but just understand that's not the XRP ledger. XRP settlement over the XRPL is 3 to 5 seconds. All right, so right here, Brianne Madigan acknowledges the true mainstream institutional adoption of digital assets will require greater liquidity. Now, we want liquidity, obviously, but guess what else we want to actually make this price move for once? Higher transactions, okay? So we want greater volume and liquidity in the network, so higher volume, and then higher transactions. That's what will push the price of XRP up over time. So she outlines 4 primary attributes of liquidity, including tightness of the costs between the buys and sells. Again, the bid and the ask of what they're asking. There's a very minuscule difference between those price points, okay? And again, the market makers are kind of profiting between that, but they want a very tight spread is what you call it. And a tight spread will kind of create, healthy competition, attract traders, things of this nature. This is what we want. So, resiliency to market shocks, again, just like we saw when XRP had that crash, when a lot of crypto had that crash, but XRP went to like 12 cents a while back. Guys, guess what? It rebounded and it developed that tightness again within the order books. That's what they wanted to see, and those are kind of proof of concepts of the asset classes maturing, okay? Breadth of trading instruments and order book depth as well. So again, plenty of orders, kind of, liquidity is the catch-all term. Order book depth, I mean, plenty and plenty of orders at certain price points, okay? Going all the way up and all the way down. Buys, sells, relatively even, very, very deep in the ecosystem in terms of number of transactions and the quantity of the digital asset that wants to be bought or sold. Assets with deep liquidity tend to trade with greater frequency, okay, so that's higher volume right there, and investors have an easier time getting over the hurdle of taking liquidity risk. Correct, explains Brianne. Having a real use case improves liquidity significantly, okay, and obviously XRP, among, a few others have a real use case, but obviously XRP for payment specifically is one of the few cryptocurrencies being used in live institutional flows. Granted, it is not the volume we want to be seeing, but guess what, guys? With Bitso alone, we are still doing well over $1 billion per year in XRP transactions. That's more than you can say about some other digital assets. So as does increasing accessibility, again, lowering those barriers to entry by creating more ways to trade the asset to support the use case, okay? And also, not just with ODL, there's many, many use cases being built around it. Even XRP, or not XRP, Ripple's working on lending. And guess what? When you're lending an asset, you're typically getting interest, right? Well, the interest, just like fractional reserve banking, is created out of thin air. So those interest payments, again, are additional demand. Now, albeit it might not be a lot in the beginning, but this is just one of the many use cases, such as micropayments, web monetization with Coil, streaming, things of this nature. All right, we got the folks at Spring, we got Forte. We're talking a good $500 million in investment pushing these ecosystems. We got Coil and, Mozilla working with Grant for the Web, $100 million right there. A lot of money is being pushed into this ecosystem, so I'm tending to think that XRP may be one of those that are here to stay. But again, that's not financial advice. Nothing is guaranteed in this ecosystem. I'm incredibly bullish on XRP, but obviously do your own research, guys, because you simply just do not know. I'm willing to take that risk based off my personal research and where I see this market going. And of course, I diversify. I have my long-term bags I never touch, and then I do have short-term bags where I will trade to improve positions, whether that's even just to improve my US dollar position, or get back and buy more silver physically and own it, or get back into some crypto assets of my choosing. All right, so right here, Matthew Liny, XRP is used by both MasterCard and Visa. Now again, this is just his speculation, not financial advice, but we're just tying it together, and he has some very, very valid points in terms of dot connecting. So, on-demand liquidity is set for Brazil via WhatsApp. Now, this is what we are thinking. Now, one thing we have to understand is this. The WhatsApp, obviously, WhatsApp, the huge application you guys are aware of, I'm guessing. I mean, most people in the United States aren't really familiar with it, to be honest, but unless you travel. But essentially, Facebook acquired WhatsApp, okay? We're talking 1 billion plus users right there. WhatsApp has an integration, of course, with many groups now, specifically MoneyGram, to do payments. Well, Ripple's, in air quotes, strategic acquisition of MoneyGram, obviously their push, MoneyGram using, ODL, at least for treasury functions, leads one to think that it could be there. Now, MoneyGram's even remittance costs are already competing with, and again, they're second place, Western Union, kind of the behemoth for the money service business industry. Well, guess what? Western Union is feeling the heat in the competition if you're looking at specific markets. I watched a recent video and someone from Western Union was saying, you can't find anyone cheaper or better rates than us, and it better have been old, because I'm actually seeing a lot of competitors thanks to teaming up with fintechs such as Ripple. So, again, we have the MoneyGram integration specifically into WhatsApp for Brazil, and keep in mind, we just had earlier, and this is no surprise, we know that on-demand liquidity kind of launched last June of 2019 with Ripple in Brazil with the Brazilian real, because it's a huge market that at least is, has a bunch of friction. So Ripple is set to build XRP payments corridor in Brazil. Ripple's head of global banking says the company is actively working on developing XRP payment corridors in exotic locations, and Brazil is next. Okay, we're also aware of, when they met virtually with the central bank, the presidents, they held a closed meeting to discuss institutional matters. Can't really get more vague than that. All right, now right here, Visa, Facebook link up for payments on WhatsApp. Now again, Facebook and Facebook Pay, they own WhatsApp. Visa's teaming up with them. Remember my previous videos, if you watched last week at least. Visa with Earthport, which is a RippleNet partner for years, at least 2015, 2016, has access, and it's a hub for payments. RippleNet enabled. Again, RippleNet enabled is the whole suite of products, software products, so they can utilize ODL. Of course, there's a process to develop that liquidity, but I just want to explain that option is there, and in due time, it can potentially happen. So Visa acquired Earthport. Earthport is that hub for payments, and they can access 90% of the bank's population, or the world population that is banked. I'm stuttering here. I'm trying to talk fast. All right, MasterCard, we know they're, alliances and kind of tied in with R3 as well, partners with Facebook as well. So we have Visa, MoneyGram, we have, so Visa, MoneyGram, which again, RippleNet partner, and MasterCard, teaming up with Facebook, all in the Brazilian corridor, all during the same month. I guess I'm just a dot connector and full of hype, because to me, I would just kind of deduct that there could be something going on, maybe a global plan with the institutions and a global plan for the Brazilian government to improve their remittance corridor. But I'm sure this is all hopium, right? Enabling Brazilians to send and receive money using WhatsApp, right? So what's going to happen? Is Facebook going to just push WhatsApp to utilize Libra? Again, the permissioned IOU database that's masquerading as a blockchain. Or are they going to be pushing XRP? Or are they competing? Or are they going to be helping each other? I don't know. We will simply see. I just wanted to share that. All right, now something else interesting. I saw it posted by somebody. But remember, Visa recently, and this is where it gets crazy, Visa recently had a video, and they literally had the same theme song for, what's going on in Brazil. It was the same theme song that Ripple uses for every Ripple Drop podcast. I'm not sure if that's the marketing people hinting and teasing us or what. But again, you guys do with that what you will. Just wanted to share that. All right, right here. Curious Wang, again, the CEO of Bitrue. PayID, guys, as we know, and we'll talk about briefly and we'll keep going. PayID is one of the biggest leaps forward for cryptocurrency adoption. The ability for users to share their addresses through a pronounceable and memorable format will help demystify the payment process for millions. Again, shared by Status, website status.hr if you guys want to check that out. Learn a little bit more about XRP and Ripple. All right, right here, Arturo Portilla, guys, former he ran basically XRP Center, that huge Twitter page, before it got suspended for no reason when Twitter was censoring everybody. So again, we got PayID, very comical. And he basically just says PayID is, analogous with the ISO 20022 for the Internet of Value. So again, ISO, the standard messaging platform that Swift is pushing. Their times are coming, guys. Fintechs, the private and public are merging, and eventually, not everyone's going to want to give in to all these US sanctions. It's about leveling the playing field, offering equality and financial inclusion for all, and it almost seems like there's a big change ahead of us. Now, you guys might think that's too tinfoil hatty. I'm just saying 2020 has been one crazy year thus far, and I don't think we can rule anything out. The World Economic Forum is calling for a great reset, and I saw, who was it, Bax? Someone tweeted it, and they said, notice how the World Economic Forum, again, the 1% of the 1%, guys, in Davos each and every year, Ripple's there, even Cardano, things of that nature. They're calling it the Great Reset. They have an hour video with all of basically the leaders of the world, and they don't call it the gradual reset. And they even show on screen, they're showing forest fires, diseases, payments. They're showing all of this, and they literally just hit a reset button and it refreshes. So it really makes you wonder what is going on, okay? So again, we will see. I just think with open standards, everything will compete at a level playing field. All right. So payid_org, again, so just saying for the Internet of Value. All right. So it's kind of the messaging. Okay. And then the interoperability layer, of course, the protocol would be Interledger Protocol. So all of these are kind of working in tandem, guys. Spring, hundreds of millions of dollars investment is working on that financial inclusion with ILP. Ripple created ILP. Working with it with Hyperledger, spreading it around, gifted it to the group that governs the internet, the W3C. Check all of this for yourselves. And I'm just repeating this stuff. I know many of you already know this. You've been around for years. I'm just saying there are newcomers that come to this channel and they are just, completely confused. All right. So right here, screenshot of this, talking about Codius. Remember the project that everyone proclaimed to be dead. All right, the smart contract hosting platform, Mickey B. Fresh has gone over it time and time again. This is shared by Marvin_XRP. Now this, I just want to share it, not financial advice. I'm not saying I believe it, but I do want to provide you information, whether it's conspiracy or not. You guys decide for yourselves. So what about Codius? And, obviously just saying we're best friends about open payments, all these groups and development groups. And he says, we sort of live together. So Codius and PayID work together, or live together in tandem with Interledger Protocol. And obviously this PayID was specifically created by Ripple. Period. Look at the white paper. Every single person on the white paper contributors are Spring, David Schwartz, CTO of Ripple, and even Logos, which joined Ripple, and they're working on DeFi products for the XRP ledger. So, yeah, take that with what you will. And then right here, what is Codius? Now, I'm not sure if this was, what was her name? Kendra Hill. I'm not sure who said this, if it was one of the kind of insiders, conspiracy people, but just read this. What is Codius? Codius is the most advanced smart contract platform that will ever exist. The project was said to be put on hold in 2015. That was a lie. It was never put on hold. Codius will be smart contracts with integrated payment processing and a variety of privacy options. One more time, Codius will be a smart contract platform that offers multiple privacy options, if required, and payment processing integration. No other platform can compare. No other platform will have a direct connection to the world banking system. If this is the case, I believe that Ethereum and potentially some ERC20 tokens could be in trouble. But what do I know? XRP and Codius are going to be used to manage the entire $1+ quadrillion derivatives market. Now understand, this derivatives market, it's a very intangible market. On the low end, guys, analysts predict like 544 trillion. On the high end, it can be, 1.2 quadrillion. Now with all the inflation that QE is doing, I wouldn't be surprised that it is, over 1 quadrillion now. But let's just kind of say tokenized assets that have the potential to be tokenized in the derivatives market. I've heard industry experts saying 700 trillion. All right. So, hey, I'm happy with 0.1% of that. XRP, and obviously my expectations for XRP are all or nothing. It's not going to be, it's either going to be $0 or massive. It's not going to be $1 or $10, guys. All right. And the idea is to own enough, or for me personally, that I'm happy as can be at even $1. But again, not financial advice, guys. Don't overinvest. You're going to be emotionally invested. I'm emotionally invested and emotionally excited for the future of this, because I've been reading this day in and day out for several years. XRP is not a currency. It is a store of value, digital gold. All right. Don't be surprised if it ever, attained that price per ounce of gold either. And obviously, who knows how close we could be to that point. But again, manage your expectations. So now right here, he's posting this link, and I'm not necessarily sure what this is, but again, right here, guys, could be kind of a Q or conspiracy thing, but a thread about the US Treasury, NSA, again, David Schwartz back in the day. Also, he helped with CNN and all kinds of different systems that he built. Possible military intelligence and Ripple, a history in the making. So all I'm going to do, just to save your time, if you guys want to find this, this is on Pastebin. I'm sure you'll be able to just type this little title in if you want, but I'm going to Control F and just do Codius. Check this out. So right here, Codius makes it easy to develop applications. Again, it is currency agnostic, guys, in tandem to let basically any currency or any project win on a level playing field. As the founders of Ripple say, if XRP cannot win on a level playing field, it doesn't deserve to win at all, period. I mean, yeah, I agree with that sentiment, but also consider the cost, scalability, security, governance. I'm pretty confident. So right here, Codius utilizes the XRP ledger and interledger protocol to transact, pay for hosting, get paid for hosting in real time from a variety of currencies. If one person wants to pay in Bitcoin, but you want XRP, the interledger protocol makes the switch for the payments. Everybody is happy. The hosting platform can also communicate with anything connected to the internet, so applications could be tied with real-world machines or package tracking as well. And again, guys, you can find more out at codius.org. Codius is CODIUS.org. All right, check for yourself. Let me know your thoughts. Mickey B. Fresh does a great job kind of going into Codius as well. And RippleNet. All right, right here, Arturo Portilla, again, XRP Center, former manager. Check this out. I thought this was pretty cool. Just showing circles, the common connections between all of these in this level playing field, whether it's Interledger, whether it's PayID, any of these groups, Standard Custody, PolySign, all of their symbols here, all right in front of you, and then Codius. Makes you think. Just thought it was fun and, figured it was worth a share. All right, right here, Matthew Liny. We'll be brief with this, but again, the G20 is on board working together for a new global payment system. Since 2018, we can see here, and yes, this is well known, but again, resharing it for people that this has been in the works. And look at the symbol as well for G20, another circle. All right, achieving development and acceptance of an open and inclusive digital payments infrastructure. I just want you guys to understand, this is, not my nonsense. I mean, some of it's my nonsense, sure, because I'm kind of crazy, but I have big expectations for the space. And you have to understand, some of these industry leaders are saying all of this vernacular. I'm not making up the level playing field. I'm not making up all the financial inclusion in the push to bank the unbanked populations. This has all been said by regulators, presidents of central banks, and governments. All right? So, talking about them, and again, just talking a note on crypto assets and blockchain development, talking about the potential use cases, obviously, threats, potential issues. All right, everything. And again, I think that algorithmic stablecoins will be one of the few stablecoins that survive and actually solve real problems. Right here, even an old letter from 2016 of Ripple, and we actually have it right here. So Ripple, a global leader in payment technology from 2016, appreciates the opportunity to comment on the global standard setting bodies and financial inclusion consultation document. We applaud the G20's Global Partnership for Financial Inclusion, GPFI, for focusing on this critical issue. Again, talking about work efforts being crucial, as well-being of consumers and stability of the financial system, endangered when the financial inclusion is not thoroughly addressed, etc. So again, guys, this has been a long time coming. Just understand it's all about disintermediation, all right? About trust, transparency, speed. Counterparty risk in tandem with trust. I don't want to repeat myself like always, but just understand, guys, it's all right in front of you. This 40-year-old infrastructure it's been 40 years since it's been replaced or rebuilt. We can stream video from space, we can send email, but you cannot actually settle a payment on the core ledger of central banks without waiting a good 2 days, best case scenario, right? Now, when you're talking about, well, maybe a little sooner, but I'm talking these highly illiquid and high friction corridors, guys, 2 to 6 days, 6% error rates. There's manual intervention. There's no standards of messaging. There's no standards of settlement. You just kind of, throw a football like you're throwing your payments and you hope it gets there. I mean, even with packaging today, we have FedEx, we have USPS, we have UPS tracking it. You have a tracking number. You can kind of figure out what city it's in and ballpark when it's going to get there. Why can't we do that with $50 million wire transfers between banks? Ridiculous. Instead of going through 16 or 7 different clunky groups just to get to one destination because there's not direct pairs and liquidity between the ecosystem. Come on. All right, simply time for a revolution. And I guess since they've waited so long, 2008 was a disaster, they might be rolling it out a lot quicker than we think. And I know it seems like forever that XRP's been under $1, and I'm right there with you. All right, but one day it won't be, in my opinion. All right, Matthew Liny, U.S. crypto exchange PayBitto, I'm just going to say Bitto, adds Ripple's XRP. So as we can see here, again, another group adding demand anytime an exchange lists them. Ideally, they buy a little XRP to hold, and that is the XRP you'll be buying from, so reducing the supply. But again, I'm only interested. Obviously, hoarding is one way to appreciate in price. I'm looking at the big players, and I do with hope that on-demand liquidity succeeds and continues to grow. And I want, XRP to become more and more liquid, higher volume, of course, and hopefully some bigger players really get on board as well. All right. And regulation would be nice to see if banks or, corporates ever custody it as well. So then you're only paying one spread, right? And I've explained that a lot too. David Schwartz has as well. So just wanted to kind of hit that point home. So U.S. crypto exchange PayBitto, or Bito, whatever you want to say, tomato, expanding portfolio of crypto assets. Again, just listing XRP. Open listing, displayed credibility. I was reading this earlier, so just kind of speeding through it again. XRP 2016, real-time gross settlement system, just like that NTT data technology that we showed with XRP and the XRP ledger in tandem. IOP potentially replacing continuous link settlement for even the foreign exchange market. It's all right in front of us. I mean, the breadcrumbs have been there, and at this point, I don't even think they're breadcrumbs anymore. I think there's just loaves of bread everywhere, but people are so distracted by everything else in the world that we're missing all of this, and it's right in front of you. And they're going to call you lucky when you get a good return on your investment in some of the digital assets you choose. And again, not financial advice. It's just the way I see it. That's one man's opinion. All right, right here, Wrath of Kahneman. So just tying it all together, we're going to be talking a little bit about Transfergo. They do run on Ripple, just so you know. So right here, they had an $11 million funding round led by Seventure and Vostok Emerging Finance. And as we can see here, entered 11 new markets, including Japan for the yen, New Zealand, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, and Ghana. 30% growth during this pandemic lockdown as well. Now, special notes being made is their new remittance as a service. So remittance as a service, I guess you could say RAAS, potentially this product, which white labels the platform for banks to use their rails via APIs. Remember, a single API. Now, even Damor Sahami had some great points, saying potentially players like ACI Worldwide, again, a RippleNet partner, already integrated, that sends, guess how much money per second, guys? Approximately $162 million per second. Now, I'm not saying all of that's going to go over XRP and send the price, sailing, which it would, especially at current prices and liquidity, because there's just not enough. And again, 100 billion XRP, 50 billion XRP, 10 billion XRP in circulation, whatever you guys think the true circulating supply is, because we have already kind of gone over the true circulating supply right now, is maybe, 3 to 5 billion. But even if it is 50 billion or 100 billion someday, it's not enough for the problems they're aiming. Again, this will not be a stable coin, in my opinion, if and only if they succeed. So this is the same thing that FlashFX described in their generous AMA at XRP Chat, good potential, and in the banks. Now, again, guys, something really cool to note is Crypto Eddie actually had a really good interview January earlier this year with the on-demand liquidity partner, FlashFX, and the co-founder, Nicholas Steiger. So I believe his last name's Steiger. Again, even he's here back in 2016. FlashFX uses Ripple and XRP, so highly recommend you guys check this out. Again, you can type in FlashFX, Nicholas Steiger, probably Crypto Eddie, some type of interview, and you'll be able to find it. Highly recommend it. Really, really insightful, showing you what a process it really is to get things going. All right, now they are based out of Australia as well. All right, so just to briefly here, FlashFX announces the launch of a brand new foreign exchange markets payment solution to improve Forex in Australia. And again, Forex, foreign exchange. Using its digital currency, XRP for liquidity, FlashFX delivers transparency, near real-time settlements, and transactional control to users while cutting the cost of cross-border payments. All right, revolutionizing the traditionally complex and opaque process of these payments for everyone. Sounds very similar. And then again, here's a quote by Nicholas Steiger. Again, excited for this revolution, blah, blah, blah. All right. And as we can see here, Australia processes $50 billion a year in cross-border payments. So it seems that, obviously there's a market there, but it seems that there's also opportunity to reduce friction and enable the technology to move seamlessly, just like information. That's the goal of Ripple. All right, so check this interview out. All right, we're going to keep going. Here's flash-fx.com, or, flash-fx.com if you guys want to check it out. All right, so as you can see, the conversions right there. All right, and then again, so Crypto Eddie right here, as we can see with Banco Ren Demento out of Brazil, the first bank that joined RippleNet Cloud, as we know. She actually sees this group now, another group, Catacao, I'm going to say, CATACAO, a Ren Demento group company that is now doing zero fee remittances. This is a really good catch with the US dollar and euro. Interesting. They can receive payments from Facebook. Very, very interesting. And I know she did have a video that covered this as well, so I'm not really going to get into it too much. But again, showing Matthew, LINY, might not be possible yet, but XRP, the connections sure make it possible. Going over what I talked about in the beginning of the video, and there it is. All right, so Errol Hendricks, I'm sorry if I butchered your name, man. I've seen you around a lot. But again, snapped from the recent Visa ad with Ripple Drop theme song in the background of the Visa ad. The advertisement, guys. Token matched, transaction type, digital wallet. I believe that DLT is involved, and it doesn't mean it is XRP. I'm just showing you that the technology is being adopted, and eventually, from a trust perspective and scalability, XRP has a great chance as one of those permissionless ledgers, period. All right. Right here, Matthew LINY, the federal cloud computing strategy, guys, stay with me. I know this is a long video, but these are some good points as well, was created to replace the 40-year-old legacy system. So now we're talking about cloud computing in the U.S. Federal Risk and Authorization Management Program, FedRAMP. They have authorized 190 tech companies, all right? So tech 190 companies to modernize the system. And yes, many are a part of the XRP ecosystem. So just to note that, again, if you guys want to check this out, Federal Cloud Computing Strategy, we have FedRAMP right here. If you guys want to look, I'm just speed through this. 190 authorized, right? So then right here, we can see Accenture, one of the first investors in Ripple, helping with digital transformation and DLT, specifically transformation for R3, Swift, you name it, okay? As we can see here, software as a service, etc. We'll keep going. And we'll be able to tie them all together. Salesforce, again, I've even seen them on documents with MuleSoft and their AnyPoints platform. And MuleSoft, today, Junior, MuleSoft, AnyPoint platform can integrate with Volante, another technology provider as well, with Finastra, ACI Worldwide for the U.S. clearinghouse, the real-time payments system, and then also they're integrated with Volante, which has Volpay, which is a Ripple Connect directly. All right. We got Oracle. I've seen them on the documents, even with MuleSoft, and then MuleSoft as well. As I just mentioned, again, for cloud. And then Microsoft, believe it or not, Microsoft is running a validator on the XRP ledger, but I'm sure it's just for fun. And same thing with SEC, whether, they're currently running one or they said they are going to. And we did hear that from Stuart Eldorati of Ripple. All right. You can see IBM. Of course, you can tie IBM with both Ripple, but even Stellar. All right. And I think that XLM does have a good chance as well. I may not love its technology, but the partnerships sure are there. And I think, McCaleb or Jed, they're all working together. They're highly connected. Even the co-founder or founder of Zelle with, XLM really makes you wonder. All right. Google, of course, Google Ventures early on. Deloitte, we can talk about even their direct connect with the T24 stack in the Euro system, just all right in front of you guys. Amazon, AWS, we know that they're working. You can even type in Amazon Web Services and Ripple. They talk so highly of literally the XRP ledger specifically, and they actually do a comparison between that and the Bitcoin blockchain. And I know I've shown that in videos as well, probably within the last 2 weeks. All right. Well, let me go back real quick just in case I missed anything. All right, that was it. But I love that thread. Again, just showing you guys there's many, many things going on. It's not just DLT. There's many facets that have to come together. So right here with MuleSoft, again, Volante, Volpay suite of payments, as you can see here. And again, this is Ripple net enabled, meaning XRP, they have a Ripple Connect actual, like literally there. Volante connector for MuleSoft. We have a library of 330 plus international and domestic standard plugins and transformations. All right, seems like a good gateway for opportunity, guys, if you ask me. They're connected to FPS of the UK, many real-time gross payment systems, ACH, you name it. All right. Now remember, Volante, they're sending what, $2 trillion per day? And I was talking about ACI Worldwide earlier with 162 million per day or per second. So you guys do the math. All right, right here, almost done. Matthew, LINY, Zero Hash expands digital asset settlement to support EOS and XRP as well. So another one, another example we can see, announced it, further enhancing settlement infrastructure, now leveraged by payment processors. So they have 600 plus asset pairs. Never heard of this group, to be honest, Zero Hash. But again, processors, lenders, exchanges, and OTC desks. All right, 20 fiat currencies comprising of a dozen digital assets. Pretty cool. You can read a little bit more about them. And again, XRP mentioned here as well. And then about Zero Hash. Zero Hash's mission is to empower innovators by delivering access to the financial system 2.0. Zero Hash enables developers and businesses to focus on building experiences and products. We power your favorite brokerage app or neobank to offer Bitcoin, provide the rails to the 2.0 payment processors, give platforms the ability to facilitate instantaneous cross-border payments, XRP's use case, and eliminate complexity for moving assets for the world's largest liquidity providers. Very interesting. All right, FinCEN registered as well. Very cool. And they do hold a virtual currency license from the New York Department of Financial Services, I believe that stands for. Yep. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. Hate sounding stupid when I'm going over all this information, guys. I wish you knew how weird it is to talk into a microphone for 30 minutes alone, and I start making up words, and I re-listen to it, and I cringe, so I just upload it to YouTube anyways. All right, and then last but not least, so we have Marjan Delatine of Ripple giving a little chat. I want to finish off with this again. She's the global head of banking at Ripple, and she has had a past, even just part of the team selling Swift GPI. And guess what she did? She jumped ship and is working with Ripple to actually solve the settlements. Xcurrent could already do what Swift GPI does. So XRP_Stort sharing this, again, talking about all of the stuff that's occurred in 2020. The push going digital is more and more obvious. If you guys can't see it yet, you should probably just go play on TikTok, because we are going digital. It's simply a matter of time. Value will be digital. Most of your everyday lives are already in this virtual digital world, looking at your phone or laptop. How often are you, compared to actually being outside and doing things and being present in the moment, what percentage of the day are you looking down at your phone or on a computer or watching Netflix? Think about that. All right, watch this.
When you look at Indonesia, you see that they are moving faster towards the digital. But when the people cannot use cash in person, they have to store, they have to keep it somewhere. This could be a bank account, this could be a digital wallet, or any other means. And what we see is, according to certain studies, and especially coming out of this COVID-19 crisis, and it was one of them was quoted actually in March by BBC, that the decline of the cash, if it continues at the same path, probably by 2026, the cash will end. I'm not saying that this will happen, to be honest. I think much depends actually how we will manage this crisis. But what is important, and I think it's coming back, is that the people that were less digital savvy, now they are moving towards becoming more digital in different ways. And obviously money is an important angle of that. I think the collaboration between fintechs and banks and incumbents will continue, and it becomes probably even more important. I think the crisis came out with some clear message around that. Even we see that how the things are happening in domestic level with the supports that governments are doing or giving to retailers and small businesses, is that probably we need a better payments experience and better payment systems in the world. And I think this will continue to be part of the agenda moving forward. From Ripple perspective, we are really quite engaged, and I would say we are stream ahead with our customer base in terms of helping them and bringing new corridors that are, let's say, more complex today in terms of the cross-border transactions, and using this on-demand liquidity that I mentioned to those users. So yeah, I think the moving towards digital is becoming more and more part of the agenda of the world. So good for organization like us.
Very interesting. And again, Marjan is fluent in, 3 to 5 languages. Very, very smart lady here with Ripple. So again, guys, that's about it. And I do want to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. Let me know if you think, before end of August, that we're going to see one more big stock market crash like we saw back in, I think it was March. So let me know your thoughts down below if you think that we're going to get higher highs before this election and kind of look the economy will look good again? And obviously it's not because unemployment rates, but obviously the stock market. Or do you think that we're going to crash and then recover before the election? Give me your thoughts down below. I am truly curious about kind of the overall market sentiment and psychology right now. So again, guys, remember to check the links in the video description for anything related to cryptocurrency, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.